was actually very red before we even started.
Hey everyone, welcome to our Fibroblast demo as promised. We have a lovely model here who is receiving her second treatment of fibroblast. We had fabulous results from her previous treatment. Lady felt as if she had a slight overhang in the lids. The before and after photos we shall repost so that you can all see them. The lovely Paula is carrying out our demo today. She's just going to begin. So Paula, I can see something that looks a wee bit like some kind of flash and a wee bit of, almost a tiny bit of smoke, would you say?
Yeah, it is.
Which could possibly be quite alarming, but just explain.
Yeah, it's not really scary at all. It's just that the plasma basically is a reaction with the skin and the body, and it just creates like a tiny lightning bolt out the end of the probe and with the skin. So it's not actually touching the skin as such, it's just hovering over the top, and when the connection's made, that's when you see that wee flash. The smoke is essentially burning, but it doesn't burn your skin. The gases that run through the machine stop the burning, so the chemical reaction stops that happening.
Okay. You can see if I zoom in a wee bit. So, how does it feel? I mean, is it painful? How are we feeling
What would you say?
right now?
How do you think it feels?
It's a wee bit stingy, but nothing that...
Is there certain areas that feel a wee bit more tender than others, would you say?
There is. The sides seem to be a bit more tender, but it's certainly not...
Not
well,
awful.
as you can
It's
see,
manageable, perfectly
yeah, of
manageable.
course.
Yes. Anywhere where there's thinner skin, so across the top of the eyelids, corner of the eye, that's where you tend to feel it a wee bit more. Yeah.
Well, I see that you've applied what looks like non-cream, so I would
It is.
imagine that makes it a bit more
It does.
comfortable.
And what we do is we basically leave it on there for a long time beforehand, and then as we're going, we just take a wee bit off at a time, just to keep the whole area numb.
Okay. I can see that you seem to be placing these dots a wee bit strategically.
Yes.
It looks a wee bit pretty.
Yes, it's like a wee starburst on her face. The reason we're doing that this time is the last time we went all over the whole area, which was to retexture, reshape and see what happened. This time, because we've had such a good result, what we're doing is we're sort of pinpointing now, we're targeting where the problem area is, and the problem area is this overhang on the lid. So what we're doing now is we're looking to pull the skin this way and actually get a really good lift. Now, yeah, we've done all the retexturing thing and the skin shrinking, and now we're sort of going in there now. Yeah,
That sounds very good.
and we'll get some more done.
I think that's one of the reasons why we were so interested in introducing this new treatment, because I feel that I've got a slight overhang on my eyelids, and I was looking into surgery, blepharoplasty, that's what you call it, is it? I even went as far as to book a consultation, and then I just actually stumbled on this treatment and thought, if this works,
Yeah, much less invasive.
yeah, I am introducing this into the clinic, and that's basically what sold it to me. And the fabulous results that we've been getting are really impressive, and I think it's ideal for the client that doesn't want to take that surgery step. You know, not everybody wants to get surgery, that's the thing.
The downtime is so much less as well, and it's, you know, much less invasive than surgery with similar results.
Is there any, like, do you need to protect your skin from the sun? Is there any candidates that are more ideal than others?
Yeah, so we do a full consult before it happens, and we need to basically scale each client to decide where they are on the Fitzpatrick scale. So from very fair to darker toned skins, not everybody's suitable for it. The darker the skin, the higher the risk of hyperpigmentation. But we provide the full information how to look after it to make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah, you absolutely need to wear sunscreen over the top of it.
For up to
6 weeks, even longer if you can. So if you're going away on holiday and you're going to sun worship and all these things, you know, you need to just be super careful and just remember that it's brand new skin under there and need to look after it very, very carefully. Okay, so I don't know how close you are, Mary, but
I'm getting super close.
what we're doing here is we're literally creating sort of almost runs. So what the plasma probe does is it shortens the fibroblasts in the skin. So 2 layers shortens all the connective tissues that are going on in there, so it visibly shortens and it's an instant result. So what we're doing here is we're working our way up to try and create a lift from this angle. So that's why I'm working in this sort of pattern today. Don't always work in a pattern, but this will work well for this client.
And some clients will ask, is it like an open sore? Is it like a small crust?
It's more of a small crust because when we're actually going in here and the heat's there, if
I'm just
anything,
gonna have a wee close up.
yeah, if anything was going to be there, it's kind of cauterising it as we're going. It doesn't create an open sore as such. So it's sealed as we go, and all these little brown bits are just sort of carbon deposits. They're going to come away in the next few days, and then you're just left with pink skin underneath. You'll see the dots, but they all go away as time goes on.
So it's a case of when people ask, you know, what kind of downtime is there, but I think it's one of it's a case of, would you go to your work with these wee, you know, crust-like?
Yeah, if it doesn't,
you know,
bother you, there's no reason.
It just depends what type of job you do. If you're in a desk job with loads of women who would be more fascinated at the fact that you've had fibroblast, or would you be in an office with loads of men who, or that sounds quite sexist, but you know, are you going to feel that you need to hide?
Yeah.
And that's entirely up to the individual, I think.
Definitely, but there's not any physical reason you can't go back to work
No.
or anything. There's no actual downtime. The worst part of it really is that you do get some swelling the next day and for a couple of days after.
Yes,
And,
and that really is dependent on the individual and
Yep.
how sensitive their skin is, and
Yep.
whether they're prone to hay fever, etc.
Yes.
I think.
Definitely. So, don't know if you can see. You can actually see that the skin's visibly tightening. This was super, super stretchy when we started. So we've got a tightening going on there.
I suppose it's important to reiterate that it is instant results, but that is based on the severity of the laxity of the skin, and also you'll see instant results, but it continues to work over 3 months.
Yeah.
Where you would potentially come back for another session, which would just refine and fine tune the results from the first session. Or some people don't need a second, so it really just depends.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is called the 5-point procedure, and we're sort of running these lines all the way up that you've seen me doing already. And what we do is we have these wee sections here where there's like groups of 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and what we do is we pop in the middle. So we've shortened the fibres here and here, and when you go in here it has like an extra effect. So if you zoom in really close, we will see, you'll actually see the shrinking effect, and this is the permanent results that you get. So we'll just try and get a good shot of that. Can you see it doing it? You can actually see it shrinking, and if you watch the dots next to each other, you'll actually see them getting closer to each other as the skin shrinks. Do it again. So we'll
So
just do
again,
the same again.
It's all in the strategic placement of the dots.
Yep.
You know, it's not a case of dotting anywhere, it's a case of knowing where to put them, recognising the needs of the client and applying those wee dots specifically to meet the needs.
Exactly. Yep, I'm just taking it as it goes. I'm going to do this wee line here again. I'm going to do it in the middle of these two, so you maybe get some good angles from that.
And again, the client looks quite comfortable.
She's fine. Feel alright down there?
Falling asleep.
Falling asleep. There we go. riveting conversation for you.
There is a distinctive smell.
Yes, it smells
From
like
the
burning hair.
Yeah, it does. But again, I think it's a small price to pay for such a massive result.
Exactly, it's all good. So I'm actually not going to go too far on this client's eyelid because we've already did all this, and as you can see, it's super smooth. This was all baggy in here before, so that's gone. There's no need to do that again.
Almost like crepey.
It was crepey, yeah.
Crepey
That was
texture.
that's exactly what it was like. It was crepey from the bottom of the lid to roughly where the socket is, but it's gone, so there's no need to go in there.
You can actually see how smooth our skin is in there. It's actually quite unbelievable. It's really smooth.
Yeah.
So when you've retexturized, smoothed all the skin surface, and now you're just lifting.
Yep, get rid of all the crepe and now it's just a lift.
It's very pretty.
I do like it. It's like a wee sunshine on our lid.
Almost like a wee kind of animal, like a wee tigery.
Quite pretty.
The belly pub, isn't it, really?
So that is that wee eye done.
Uh-huh.
That's as much as I'm going to do today.
Right, so I'm going to have a wee zoom in. My lovely camera skills.
Okay, so we're moving on to the other eye, and this eye is quite visibly more droopy than the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a wee bit less over here, not as intense, and we're going to start a wee bit higher up because this wee overhang that was here starts higher up in this one, so that's where we're going to start.
So the other eye was worse, is that what you said?
The other eye was worse, yeah.
Okay.
Had a bigger overhang over the lid.
So hence why there was more work needed, and pretty much this eye is
much less needed over here.
Yeah. So is it suitable for all areas of the face? Is there anywhere that is it suitable for the body?
It's face and neck is where it works. It's not suitable for the body.
Yet.
It's exactly. Need to get a bigger tool. It's not suitable for every person, I think, is maybe the better question. It works where there is loose skin. So anywhere there's loose skin that you can pull away from the head or whatever, it works. It doesn't just work for any issue at all, but baggy skin is where we get the good results.
You know, some people have like a swollen, almost like swollen eyes. Would it work for that?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because that's something going on internally in the body, rather than just loose skin. So because we are shortening those loose fibres, which causes the loose skin, that's all it works for. So it wouldn't fix that.
Okay, so it's very, very important that we have a wee consultation prior, just to determine what area is necessary and to manage expectations.
Yeah, definitely. We also look at any illnesses, anything that could potentially cause issues. We look at all of that. It's quite a long consultation process, but very important. So yeah, it's carried out beforehand.
So see if there was like lines in the face, the kind of cheek area, would it work by smoothing out the lines, or is it going to just stretch the skin and make the lines not look as bad? Or
it can do both. It just depends on the lines. So what we do is we look at it by case individually. It will not fix this big deep crevice that some people get between the eyes. You kind of need filler for that. It's not going to plump it out, but what it can do is it can pull and stretch and straighten out sort of crow's feet here, marionette lines, the lines in your smoker's lines, your marionette lines, all these kind of things. It can definitely help. It can do, but we look at it sort of case by case.
And is there the one price?
No, it's a different price for every area. Yeah, different area, different price.
And that'll be determined on your consultation then?
Yeah, we just discussed that at the time. So the bigger area, the more it costs.
So typically, like for instance, like top lids, what's the typical price?
It's about £550 for your top lids normally. We do have a wee offer on just now, but the normal price is £550 for your lids. For example, the 2 lines and across the top lip is £300. So it kind of lets you see that it's a smaller area, it's not as much going on, so it's kind of by area.
And does it last for a certain amount of time? Would you need to come back?
Permanent. The results are permanent. It's quite nice to liken it to things like laser surgery. So you just age as normal. So you have your eyes corrected and it just ages as normal. It's the same thing. So whatever we get today will be permanent, and then you start aging as normal again.
So is it a case of just coming back and maintaining your results maybe in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. Yep, so if you start to see it dripping again after a few years, then you can sort of maintain that, and then you're not going to go back to the state that it was before. Or you just wait until you're ready for the next appointment. There's no sort of set time. It's not going to wear off.
So as much as £550 sounds like a big financial outlay, I think when you compare it to the likes of surgery, I mean, I think you're talking £3,000 upwards, depending where you go. And
now you've also got to take into consideration there as well, if you go for an operation on your eyes, you are absolutely going to have downtime. There's essentially no downtime unless the dots bother you and you want to have a few days off till they go away.
I think the thing that bothered me about the blepharoplasty was I worried that potentially if they take too much, you know, and I mean, where are you when they take too much? There's
no way back.
You can't put it back.
No, exactly.
But the good thing about fibroblast is that once it's tightened the fibres, shortened the fibres, it stops working.
Yeah, exactly.
There is absolutely no risk of it over tightening.
Yeah. The other good thing as well, I think sometimes people see these wee flashes at the end. It's just a tiny energy at the end of the probe, and if it touches the skin, it actually cuts the machine out, so it can never ever do any damage. Yeah, it doesn't cause any problems. So if I was to touch the skin now, it would literally just go off. It's a clever wee thing.
I think that this treatment has been available. I think it's been more kind of medically orientated in the past, but it seems to have filtered through into the more aesthetics field now, which is really exciting. It means that we can utilise it. So, what's this that you're applying now? Is this Aftercare?
So this is the Aftercare, and it is soothing. It's really nice. It's colloidal silver gel, so it helps with the healing. Nice and natural. It's just basically it forms a wee barrier over the top here, and it just soothes and helps heal. It's lovely, and it's there's no reaction to it. So
I've heard really good things about this silver gel.
It's fab
Apparently you can eat it.
Yep.
And it's got all sorts of soothing, amazing properties.
Yeah, so silver's got really strong antiseptic properties and healing properties, so it's perfect.
And you can have some for your lunch.
Some for your dinner.
So I'm just having a wee close up. As you can see, you know, it's not open wounds, it's not bleeding. It's just like wee cute, nice, perfectly formed crusts.
Oh, cute.
On the eye area, obviously.
Yeah, and these go away really quickly too. They don't last long, 3 to 5 days, and they come off when you're washed your face.
And probably what you would expect is a bit of redness for a few weeks after that, but it's nothing that you can't cover with a bit of foundation, I think.
Yeah.
You know, nothing too severe. But how was our model feeling?
Absolutely fine.
Yeah?
Quite calm and relaxed now that it's all done.
Is that it finished?
That's it finished.
Oh well, that's me.
Okay, so now we're done. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling absolutely fine.
Good. How does your skin feel? Does it feel tight, burny? Does it feel alright?
Feel the tightness, which is good. That's what I want to feel.
Yes, definitely. And can you see a visible result compared to last time?
Yes.
So obviously we did your first procedure, and that was like the retexture and lift and all that stuff together. So do you feel that it was definitely worth coming for that wee second visit?
It was worth coming for the second one.
Good. That's good. And would you recommend it, do you think?
Oh, I would certainly recommend it.
Fab. That's what I like to hear. So keep us updated on how you're going.
I will.
We'll let you go now.
Okay.